atmosphere. So let's go to this stuff about groups. And I want to introduce it by way of an extremely timely article in the latest edition of The Economist. And The Economist is a major British publication to which I subscribe that often has, as it does in this issue, a special section on a specific topic. And in this case, and I really want your reaction to this because of the data they report in here. And we have a nice age range contrast in this group between the younger of you people and my age 68, given the data that are here. And the name of the article is Nomads at Last. I'm going to summarize part of this and also read a section, and then I would like you to react to it in terms of how you see your future with respect to this technology stuff. Now, as a little background, why is this tied to any discussion of groups? A basic underlying quality to the formation of groups and organizations is social interaction. And we're going to find out that there's two major distinctions that we make in groups. One is formal groups that are defined by the design of the organization, such as departments and subunits within departments. And the other is informal groups, which are groups of people within and between formal groups who interact, social interaction, and then come to form their own groups. Now, this class is a formal group. It's management 306-010, spring 2008. You have other classes that you go to which are also, therefore, formal groups. But you have a pattern in this classroom of where you sit. And the three women up there, there's usually a fourth one. Am I right? You're always, I know I've said this before, but I want to tie this into the discussion of groups, because you constitute an informal group within this particular class. And you may well be friends, you may have associations outside the class and the like. Two people in the second row from the top with their feet on the back of the chairs, they're always sitting together, and that's another small, and a group is two or more people. It doesn't have to be 20, 30, or 40. There are also what we call in group terminology, and this is, I can't remember whether it is in chapter 10, are loners. Individuals who stand alone and are not associated with others. And you stand out, sir, with a laptop and the hat as an example. You usually sit in about the same place, and you don't seem to associate with any of the other people in the class. Am I correct?
Not in this class.
Not in this class. I just want it with this class as the example. Upper left, you change your position from time to time, perhaps for whatever reason. I don't care what the reason is. But you need to be near a power source for your laptop computer, so you're typically on the outer edges, either on this side or this side. Okay. Now, title of the article is Nomads at Last. Go ahead. Somebody try. They're just making noise out there. Oh, by the way, Jesse Nichols at Los Alamos, ignore the gray book until later today. It's doing some messy stuff with your scores, and I don't want you to become confused or concerned about what's in there. So I will fix it after class. I simply did not have enough time before class. Wireless communication is changing the way people work, live, love, and relate to places and to each other, says Andreas Kluth, whoever that is. The article up to this point doesn't describe who that person is. And then, at the Nomad Cafe in Oakland, California, Tia Katrina Canlas, a law student at the nearby university in Berkeley, which is the University of California, Berkeley, places her double Americano next to her laptop phone and iPod, opens her MacBook laptop computer and logs on to the cafe's wireless internet connection to study for her class on the legal treatment of sexual orientation. She is a regular here, but doesn't usually bring cash, so her credit card statement reads, nomad, 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 nomad. That says it all, she thinks. Permanently connected, she communicates by text, photo, video, or voice throughout the day with her friends and family, and does her, quote, work stuff at the same time. She roams around town, but often alights at oases that cater to nomads. Can you identify with this? Do any of you do any similar things, such as going to a wireless cafe and hooking up with your devices? Nobody?
I go to satellite occasionally, do that.
Well, this is almost addictive behavior, where this article goes, that people in the 25 and younger age group are so heavily connected with these devices that they depend on them for social interaction. Now, notice how I said that. Face-to-face, like this, is social interaction. I'm arguing in Chapter 10, and this article is underscoring the notion that social interaction now occurs electronically and not face-to-face. So that you have the number 3.3 billion people, more than half the world's population, now subscribe to a mobile phone service. Even in the poorest of countries, people have mobile phones and can connect, because one thing that happens for example, in many of the African nations, the phone system, as we think of it, the hardwire system, is inferior to anything that they can do with a mobile phone and satellite. So they depend heavily on satellite. Well, perhaps you folks are the anomaly to this, although I see students at the Anderson School with PDAs. I don't happen to have one. I'm thinking of doing that, partly to entertain myself, especially after retirement, so that I can just sort of roam about. Do any of you have a PDA, which is like a BlackBerry? No? You have a BlackBerry? Do you use it regularly? It says that you live for your BlackBerry. Maybe you don't want to subscribe to that notion.
No, not really.
Not really. But you're using it regularly to communicate with anyone that you need to communicate with.
Yeah.
And you can connect to the internet. And
Yeah, so I get my emails right to me.
you just get it all through there. Well, I have a cellular phone. And it's an international cellular phone. And I checked it for the last 3 days and found out that no one has called me at all. Now, I clear it so that I know whether something comes in, if I'm, don't hear it ring or have it in my briefcase or something of that sort. And it's remained cleared for 3 solid days. And it's capable of sending text messages, and as I told you before, I don't do that. I actually played around with it, so I know how to do it. I just prefer not to do it, because I don't have any contacts that I know of in the world who would send me a text message. Now, you may say, well, we're your students, and we might want to send you a text message. Well, I'm not going to go there. It costs, what, $3 a month for the texting? So I'm saving $3 a month. You can call me. You can send me an email, and it all works out the same. So I save $3 a month. You may say, so what? It's only $3. Well, I count everything from 1 cent up as important. Here, it says in the 18 to 29 age group, text messaging occurs by 85% of the people in that age group. Text messaging in my age group, 65 and over, occurs 11%. And there is an inverse relationship between age and text messaging. So the older you are, And that's right now, because you are, according to this article, the text messaging generation who grew up with this stuff and have done it in a regular way. Is this accurate for this group here? It's the whole thing of, you know how I don't know if I've told you this, the South Koreans are heavy users of text messaging, and they keep their phone in their pocket, and they use one thumb to send text messages. Now, if it's in Hangul, the Korean language, I don't know how they pull this off, because that consists of a series of symbols that have to go together in a certain way, or perhaps they do it in English. But it's a fascinating difference where you have it, you will continue to have it, and it's going to be an ever-present part of your life affecting social interaction. Now, this nomadic thing is referring to the fact that you can move about and quite easily interact with people everywhere. One of the dangers is that it can change the quality of social interaction, because in texting you do not see the other person, and you have to use icons in various devices to express emotion. Did I not share with you early in the semester the piece of research that showed that people who use text messaging usually express emotions more highly than they do when they interacted face-to-face? I remember doing that. Am I correct, or was it? You don't remember it? You do. Okay. That's what I'm going after, that the emotional content of face-to-face is not present in texting, and therefore you add in the icons, or you do it in all caps to indicate that you're shouting, and so on. Now, we've had a revolution in devices in the past few years. The iPod is here. The Apple's iPhone apparently has caught on in a dramatic way. Do any of you have one? An Apple iPhone? I don't understand the difference between it and any other handheld device. I will find out, because I'm interested in the effect. Then it goes on. Cumulatively, all these changes, meaning iPhone, internet access, the presence of wireless access, not just at, did you say Starbucks? Satellite, yeah. But Satellite has the wireless access in their stores, and I've used it, and people go in and they order 1 cup of coffee, and they sit there for the longest time doing stuff that they want to do. We have wireless throughout the campus, and it's a big part of our lives. All these changes amount to a historic merger at long last of two technologies that have already proved revolutionary in their own right: the mobile phone and the internet. And then when you combine those, because with the PDAs, the various types of devices, they connect as you do over the internet, has mostly touched rich countries and rich people in poor countries, but has already changed the way people shop, bank, listen to music, read news, and socialize. So what I'm predicting for us, and I'll share in it for some years to come, but it's going to be a major part of how people your age interact with other people, it will have a huge electronic component. Do you buy that assertion? You feel that's accurate about where stuff is headed? You can do, well, I sent an email to all of you about last Thursday that you have the video for that module available in the course website. So you can access it. And I'm assuming, I know I made it work on my system, and it's all there. We will have almost all of the BBA fully online. Some courses are so specialized and we have such limited faculty to teach them, and they don't want to teach online. We may have to opt out on some accounting courses. But that's where I think we are going. Okay, now let me